Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. In our previous episode, we saw how Dasaratha Maharaja has informed all his vassal kings, the elders, the clan leaders, the people, the general public, and to his ministers, to everyone in that kingdom in a huge sabha where he announced that he wanted to make his eldest son, Sri Ramachandra, as the Yuvaraja or as the Uttaradhikari of the kingdom, and how everyone welcomed the decision. The startled Dasaratha Maharaja goes back and asks them, I ruled you for 60,000 years, and the moment I said I want to make Sri Ramachandra as the next king, as the Yuvaraja, you all accepted so quickly. What is the greatness of Sri Ramachandra? That you accept it immediately and you are saying that I have already made a lot of delay in appointing him. What made you think so? And then all the people there, they come back and they give all the reasons. They say why Sri Ramachandra would make a great king and why they want him to be the king at the earliest. So Dasaratha Maharaja is extremely pleased after that. And then he says, Chaitra Sriman Ayam Masaha Punyaha Pushpitakaranaha Yavvarajyaya Ramasya Sarvamevapa Kalpyatam. So he's saying this is the month of Chaitra, great month, because Chaitra is the month where spring comes. So he's saying Punyaha Pushpitakaranaha. Karana means Aranya or forest. Even the forest, everywhere you have new leaves, you have new flowers blossoming, right? And Yavvarajyaya Ramasya Sarvamevopakalpitam. I am going to go ahead with the Yavarajapattabhisheka of Sri Ramachandra. That's what he said. And then he invites Sumantra, his minister, and he has already decided that he is going to do the Pattabhisheka or the formal ceremony where he is going to be crowned as a Yuvaraja. He decided to do it on the Pushyami Nakshatra. Okay, Pushyami is one of the 27 nakshatras that we have. So when Chandra is in that particular nakshatra, we call it as the nakshatra of the day. So Pushyami Nakshatra. On the Pushyami Nakshatra day, our Dasaratha Maharaja decided that he would make Sri Ramachandra as the Yuvaraja of Kosala Desha, or the Desha which has got Ayodhya as its capital. So the country was called Kosala. So Dasaratha Maharaja has decided on that, and now he has invited one of his most important ministers, and his name is Sumantra. And he has invited and he has told Sumantra to be ready to ensure that everything is ready for the Pattabhisheka. And he also invited Vasishtha Maharshi and he said, hey Maharshi, please ensure that we have everything in place for the Pattabhisheka which needs to happen. And then he is also saying, Suvarnadi Ratnani Balin Sarvaushadhirapi Suklamalyamscha Lajamscha Pruthakcha Madhusarpishi Ahatan cha Vasamsi Ratham Sarvayudhanyapi Chaturangavalam Cheva Gajam cha Subhalakshanam Chamaravyajane Svete Dhvajam Chatram cha Panduram Satam cha Sata Kumbhanam Agnivarchasam. So he is telling, bring great jewels. Okay, and then he is asking white cloths to be made ready. See, white cloths have a great importance in the Sanatana Dharma, right? So when you look at most South Indian marriages, almost every South Indian marriage, at the Sumuhurta, the bride and groom naturally wear white. Okay, in North, I'm not very sure. I think in some places it's red, but in marriages we use white to show anything that's very auspicious. We use white because white is a symbol of purity, and white is also the amalgamation of all the colors. So when someone is wearing white, that means that he has the amalgamation of everything in him. So white is considered very auspicious, and even in the olden days when the kings used to get coronated, they normally wore white. Okay, so that's the reason why Dasaratha Maharaja is now asking people to get a white dress. And then he has also asked for, this parched rice that's called laja in Sanskrit, and in Telugu we call it pelalu. That's, that sort of rice is considered very, very auspicious, and wherever that sort of laja is placed, that's an invitation to the gods. So in Sanatana Dharma, everywhere, everything has got a very important meaning. So the muri is inauspicious actually, but and that's also a variant of the rice, right? But this sort of parched rice, which is called laja, or which is called in Sanskrit, which is called pelalu in Telugu, that is considered very, very auspicious. So he is asking, and that's an invitation for all the gods to come. Whenever we place that rice anywhere, we are actually inviting all the gods to come over there. So Dasharatha now wants all the gods to come and bless it, and that's a part of the regular Pattabhisheka process, the coronation process. Though the coronation is happening for the Yuvaraja's place, that's a part of the coronation process. So he's asking for all that to happen. Okay, one thing I wanted to really inform here: the muri mixture that we eat. If you go a few generations back, or the bhel sort of thing that we eat, right? If you go like a few generations back, people never allowed their kids or anyone to have it at home, because that muri, or that I'm not getting the exact English word for it, but that sort of rice, or the bhel sort of rice, I mean, when rice is made into that particular form, it is considered very, very inauspicious, and they say wherever that is placed, it invites bad energy. The bhuta preta energy is invited by that. So people normally used to stop us from taking that. So that's one more important thing that I wanted to just inform here. And then he is also saying, get all 4 types of armies. They are called as Chaturanga Balas. So one is the foot soldiers, next to the soldiers who fight on a horseback, then the soldiers who fight on the back of a elephant, that's called as Gajabala. So the foot soldiers, the Padati Sena, and then the people on the horseback, which is the Ashwasena, and then the people who are on the elephants, the Gajasena, and then the people who are on the chariots, that's the Ratha Sena. He has asked for all these 4 to be placed in that particular order. I personally wanted to just say one thing here. When you look at this movie called Bahubali, I felt the director really knew this probably somewhere. And when you look at it, right, except because even though the chariots were not clearly shown there, but when you look at the coronation of the king and the oath taking ceremony of the Senapati, you see that all these armies are shown. So if you want to imagine, probably this is a very close thing that from where you can imagine. So imagine all the 4 types of armies standing, and the king getting coronated, and then the king gets a royal, and the king walks out of his palace. The coronations happened in a palace. The thing in Bahubali is that they show that the coronation happened in open air. No, what that normally happens inside a palace. So imagine the king getting coronated inside the palace, then he walks out and gets a guard of honor from all these 4 different types of armies. So now Dasharatha is saying that he wants all these 4 armies to be in that place. So Sumantra got the instructions, so he has gone there to get that done. Okay, and then he is also saying, get a new white umbrella. As I told you right previously, in Sanatana Dharma, the kings normally, wherever the king goes, a person accompanies them with an umbrella, and that's a white umbrella. So he's asking for a new white umbrella to be made for his son. So it's not like he used an umbrella and he would pass it on to his son. No, because the new king, he would get a new umbrella. Okay, and then he's also saying, get a new chamara. When the kings and all, they sit in the old movies and all, you see, right, 2 women, they hold something and fan the king, right? That's called chamara. That's made from the chamari mruga. People show the chamaras made out of peacock's feathers, but no, the original chamara is made from the chamari mruga. Okay, and they say when somebody uses that as a fan, the person who is getting fanned, if he is so tired and all his tiredness and all will be gone. So Dasharatha has asked for a new chamara to be ready, and then he is saying, get 100 kalashas ready. And then he is also saying that get a ox and ensure that for both its horns you have made gold coverings. Okay, so he is saying all this, and he's saying make all this ready. Also bring the skin of a tiger and put all this in the Agnihotra room of the king. Okay, so that the next morning the entire kratu will happen very, very smoothly. That's what he's saying. And then he also gave the instructions that the all the rajamargas, or the places where the king walks, they all should be cleaned. The rangoli should be put very nicely in all of those places. Like this, Dasharatha Maharaja is like giving instructions left, right, center. He's asking everyone to be ready. Okay, and everybody was very happy. And he also said that inform all the people so that they can decorate their houses as well. and if they are interested, they can even fly flags of Koshala Desha. Okay, that's a Kovidara Dhwaja, that's what they call it. So that also can be there on each of the houses. So all these instructions Dasaratha Maharaja is giving left, right, and center here. And then he looks at Sumantra and says, "Hey Sumantra, now go ahead and invite Sri Ramachandra and get him to my place." Now Sumantra gets ready. Now he wants to go to Sri Ramachandra's palace and inform him about this news. So Sumantra goes to Sri Ramachandra's palace and he informs Sri Ramachandra about the plan for this coronation and all. And he says, "Hey Sri Ramachandra, your father wants you to come to the palace." So Sri Ramachandra starts from his palace and enters Dasaratha Maharaja's palace, and then he touches Dasaratha Maharaja's feet and says, "Sri Ramachandra Varma Ahambo Abhivadaye." So he is touching the feet of his father, and no, for all the kings, the title Varma is given right at the end. So he said that I am here, and now Dasaratha Maharaja looked at Sri Ramachandra and said, "Sri Rama, I want to make you the Yuvaraja, or I want to do the Pattabhisheka to you tomorrow." Now, what happens after that? Very interesting. Let us see it in our next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Sri Sasmara Swam Charanarvinda Arpanamastu. Swasti.